Hey, I'm John.
I'm Matt.
And we're the Melon Crusaders.
Yup.
And we're here to talk about the Banlist.
Yup.
Not like any sort of prediction or anything, but just a conversation. Because
just like stuff we either like banned or like to see at least hit.
There's a lot I would like to see
unhit.
hit. There is a lot I would like to see hit.
There's
I'm sure there's a lot of people want to see hit.
Anyway, we have a succinct list up here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's mostly for our use anyway. So,
yeah.
First one we have up here is Inzectors. So, you want to say your little spiel first?
I hope the deck dies in a fire and never comes back again. It is the deck that has single-handedly ruined this meta and makes playing cards like Deep Prison a non-possibility. That should not be a thing.
Now, coming from a person who actually plays Inzectors, and I literally play a bunch of meta decks because people just throw them at me and say, here, play this meta deck. I think it needs hit. I don't think it needs destroyed like they did with plants, but...
I didn't think plants needed hit at all.
I saw a list that had, like, one centipede, or, like... I would like one centipede because then the deck is still playable to a degree. It loses a lot of consistency, but it loses... Like it said, it loses consistency, but it's still playable. However, I do have to agree with the whole one Hornet, one Dragonfly, because then you have to actually work to make the deck work. You can't just sit there and be like, autopilot, Dragonfly, go.
See, I feel like the deck already, you need so much work to get there, and it loses to itself so much.
Yeah, it does.
Like, I mean, if you open Dragonfly and Hornet, that's it, obviously.
Like, open up 2 MST, 2 Inzect Calibers, and a Heavy Storm. It's like, alright,
yeah.
you win.
Yeah, but, like, people don't realize how inconsistent that really is. Like, if you actually sit down and play the deck, you will get rotten hands so much more often than you will just, like, God Hand. And I feel like even just a Centipede to 1 will totally just wreck that deck's consistency to the point where it's just a non-option, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
The more they hit, the better, because I just do not want to deal with just free +2s every single turn, and it's just ridiculousness.
Alright, next one I have up is Windups. You want to go first again?
Windups, probably the most hated deck of the entire format, just because...
Hunter. Hunter's the reason, let's be honest.
There's a lot the deck does wrong.
If you spam 3 Zen Mighties at me, I'd be like, whatever, ceasefire. Like, I don't...
Oh, 3 Zen Mighties, like... Or, like, 2 Zen Mighties and, like, Utopia.
Yeah.
That's nasty. That is very nasty. That is
a
freaking, whatchamacallit, an Andreas, a Tyrus every single turn. That's pretty nasty.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. None of the lists, like, out... I mean, you know, their legitimacy aside, have any sort of relevance to Hunter. They all just touch Zen Mighty.
Which, I mean, does solve the problem. I feel like it's solving it in the wrong way, but it's solving the problem.
I mean, I guess they can still, like, +5, like, with a Magician.
Yeah, they can.
I mean, again, like, the frequency of that happening versus, like, actuality, it's kind of eh. And also Tour Guided, too, in most of those lists, too.
Well, yeah, I have that up there for later.
Like, by the way, like, that needs to happen.
Hey, save it for later.
Okay, fine. Get to it later.
Anyway, no, I don't get to say anything about windups.
No, you're
not the guy who plays windups.
No, everything you say is invalid.
Okay, I played windups like 1 tournament and got first, and I was just like, this is what's wrong with this deck. And like I misplayed 4 times and still won. That shouldn't be a thing.
Against Gravekeepers.
Against Gravekeepers, and well, he's
which is funny because basically you both do the same thing.
Yeah, we do. Anyway, yeah, World Tribute. But things I think should be hit. I would say Hunter. Just ban Hunter. Let them spam their Mighties. Let them spam whatever they want. There are cards that answer for it. Like,
yeah.
If you don't get rid of my entire hand before I get to play it, I'm fine, because then I can try to do stuff in response to you.
No, yeah. I understand. It's just... It's the fact that you can do it turn 1. Like, without any sort of, like, setup, no defense, other than hope to God you draw into Maxi or Effect Failure. And even Effect Failure, like, if you don't have 2 of those sometimes, you're just fucked. Alright,
so that's windups. Next one's Rabbit.
I do not have as big a problem against Rabbit than most people seem to. It's obnoxious when they open, like, Logia and 4 back row. But, I mean, so long as you hit Rabbit to 2, the deck becomes what it should be. It becomes a slow deck where you have to work to get to your, like, Logia or your Dolkar or whatever. And even then, you know, if you pick the wrong one sometimes, you're just going to end up losing because you didn't make the right calls. Rabbit needs to get hit in some shape, way, or fashion. And if not because of how it is in the States, because of how it will be in December. Like, the Verge just make Rabbit that much more broken with the ability to make first Ophion, and basically what that is like a turn 1 Christia that searches out a Forbidden Lance, and then you just back that up with back row, which is just disgusting. Matt?
I pretty much am in agreement with everything you said. I despise the whole Logia 4 back row thing. That's not playing the game. That's
It's
just
not
that's
a
laziness.
Deck. Yeah, there's like, it doesn't actually have a strategy. It's the best stun deck.
Yeah.
It is just the stunniest.
It's
of
like
the
rock
stun
stun
decks.
on crack.
Exactly. That is exactly what it is.
So yeah, there's that. Next one is plants. I'm going first because you're just gonna gush. I miss plants. I do. I am very much stickler for being able to plus 90. I don't like it, but
those days.
like I'm not one to talk though because I ran TG Tango Plant Sam Zombie Chaos whatever. I took all the meta and I just shoved it in a ball and it worked.
No. That's good. I love that. That is like my favorite aspect about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is where you can just take good cards A, standard engine B, mash together, deck works. That is what the game is about. That is how it was in the beginning.
Built TG Nordics when X1. That's not a thing.
I hate you, man.
That shouldn't be a thing. Anyway, plants. Like, I love plants, but they were kind of replaced by 3 tour guides and a Sangan. Like, that's pretty much what that is.
No, see, it's like, it works even better together, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, oh my god, yes. But, I would be fine with them bringing back either Spore or Glow Up Ball. My personal preference is Glow Up Ball because I have Curries, but that's about it.
The thing is,
I'm fine.
Global's way too free.
It is way too free. It can be put in everything.
Literally. There's no reason
oh my god,
not
everything.
to.
Like, everything ever.
Yeah,
So,
especially with Ballfire. Like, why wouldn't you?
But yeah, Spore would be the more respectable thing. And, I mean, it does make it easy to exceed. Like, realistically, it's like, okay, level 4, let's do this.
No, you can go into, like, rank 3s really easily. Like, it used to be a thing. Like, you know, you would do whatever, and then you'd have Lonefire and Dandy. You would go into, like, a Leviair, bring back whatever you banished for the Spore, etc., and just shenanigans. Okay, so, I'm going to talk about plants.
Talk about plants. I'm gonna go do something for 20 minutes.
I would love nothing better than for plants to just come back. Obviously it's not gonna happen. Like, I would love for that to happen, but it's not. I feel Spore is a reasonable thing, just because you need setup, and if you just draw into the Spore, it's not like Global. Like, it's just gonna sit in your graveyard. It's not gonna do anything, and without the rest of the plant engine, I feel like what Konami's trying to do is trying to balance out a lot of broken decks at once. From the speculative list that we've seen, like, you know, like the 2 that are so-called confirmed, one by Satoshi Kato and then one just randomly found by ARG at Worlds. Both of them really have like a lot of overpowering decks getting tweaked down and a lot of like really weak decks coming up, i.e. plants. I feel like this is Plant's shot to just kind of like go into the meta, find a new engine to latch onto, maybe not Tengu, but like, you know, just find a space in a random Xyz deck, and it'll just work ridiculously, and I'll be happy. I want my plants back! Next topic.
No, wait, one more thing. I think they did hit plants too hard last Banlist. Like,
well, they had to.
When you kill them, you shouldn't kill them dead. Like, you should let some remnant of it be there, and Dandelion does not count.
See, that's the thing, though. If they didn't do that, though, everybody would just stay with plants.
I guess.
That's what happened with the format before. They didn't hit plants hard enough. Nobody bothered buying, like, Photon Shockwave or anything. And then finally in March, when they did hit it, Photon Shockwave became, like, one of the hottest selling sets ever.
That's true.
And why? Because Rabbit, because Wind Up Rabbit, and Rescue Rabbit.
Anyway, heroes.
Okay. See, I have mixed feelings about Heroes in that I like the deck. I like the fact that the boss monsters aren't dragons, because every single freaking boss monster in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a dragon. It is obnoxious. Like, shut up.
Nordic.
See, here's the thing though. Hero Alive builds are ridiculous. We're getting the Dark Hero, and here's the thing. I just want to say this real quick. Super Poly's not an issue. People think Super Poly should be banned, go to 1, whatever. It is not that big an issue. There's so many times where it has to be situational for that to be really good that it doesn't matter. You have to -1. You have to have your monster and their monster on board, and even then things can go awry. You can bottomless torrential everything what comes out of it. So it's not like it's unanswerable. My biggest thing about Heroes is I didn't really think Stratos was a big thing at first. I thought, oh, you know, like, it's just, that's the core of the deck, it has to be there. And then I saw a list, I think it was like the first one at Worlds, where like Stratos was banned, and I can't describe how relieved I was when I found that out. I was just like, oh my god, now I don't have to deal with like turn 1 shock rulers, Excalibur OTKs, none of that like BS. It's just, I can go into this next format and not have to be worried about getting like just to the face with like Hero Beat. I really feel like Stratos should be banned because of just how relieving that was. Matt?
Again, I'm pretty much in agreement with most things you said. Heroes were never really a problem for me, but I play so many decks that are just either so obscure you don't know when to deal with stuff, or dark.
I feel like you kind of have to do that nowadays, because most of like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like meta calls.
Yeah.
Like, Heroes were good when Inzectors were like, everybody's playing Inzectors, because Hero has a really good matchup against that. And then everybody switched to Rabbit, and that has a good matchup against Heroes, etc. But, like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like that deck should really go.
I would not have a problem. I don't like the gem sparking every turn thing.
Oh, I love that. Like, that is, like, the aspect I love
I don't
about
like
it.
Bubble Man coming out and just wrecking my day. Like, I never thought Bubble Man would be a problem. Like, I looked at Bubble Man, I was like, this is a neat card. It is never going to cause me issues. And then...
Funny how that works.
Yeah. But, yeah, pretty much in agreement with most things. But, actually, a good segue into the next topic, Dragons. They both benefit from Future Fusion, so you want to talk about Future Fusion real quick?
That card's gone. Like, there's no debate about that. We know it. Konami knows it. That card is gone. Good riddance. It has caused too many troubles.
I would prefer we just take away, like, now that we're talking about Dragons a little bit, I would prefer we take away a target. Like, honestly, if you took away 5-headed, they're going to target, like, Blue Eyes Ultimate or something. It's like, oh, I'm going to dump 3 Blue Eyes and do what? Like...
But see, that's the thing, though. In Heroes, when you do that, you make it like a shock ruler for free.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is just dumb. But, I mean, that goes along with the lines of, you know, at first it was Jinzo OTK, it was Chimera Tech OTK. Just these ridiculous plays that have all been fueled by one card. And it's kind of like Matt's Driver. It's just, you know, the card has been so much trouble, and it's just been a problem enabler since the beginning of its conception, that it just needs to be gotten rid of for the sake of the game.
I have no problem with that, honestly, leaving. Like, I think I ran it in, like, Dragoonities when I first built them or something, and that's the only time I ever actually played it,
yeah,
so.
With, like, yeah.
Yeah, it was just, like, fun to do, so.
Okay.
Dragons.
Chaos Dragons in general, though, they're still going to be a thing. I feel like they probably should have. I feel like they should have hit Eclipse Wyvern instead, because there's a lot of good Dragon decks where it's just like you don't spam them out. And really, Red MD is a good card, and yes, I understand its interactions in Heretics with Gustav Max and everything, but see, the problems are they're not Red MD. It's tutoring it. Like, it's a 10-star 2 tribute monster. In the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh, that wasn't an easy thing to do. 2 tributes is ridiculous. It's just the fact that the game is sped up and everything. There's these cards, like Eclipse Wyvern, which is just... I feel like that's a problem in and of itself. I feel like they can never go... Konami can never go and design another, like, level 7... Is it level 7? Does anybody know?
Eclipse Wyvern?
Yeah, what does it fetch? Like, a level 7 Dark Monster or higher?
Probably.
Yeah, level 7 Dark Monster or higher. They can never do that again without looking back to Eclipse Wyvern and being like, oh, that searches this out. Which means that all of those cards now have to be crappier because of it. That's a problem. It's like Reinforcement of the Army, the same thing. They had to put that to 1 because they can't just make overpowered warriors anymore, or like decently powered warriors.
The only thing is, when you hit Red MD, you're not affecting other decks that benefit from it, like Heretics, because like you could run it with 1 and it would probably be fine.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
With the first list where like Red MD went a 1, I went on a dual net like the very same night, and I just play tested like with 1 Red MD, full Heretic deck, everything. It works perfectly fine because you still have Trag. You can still make Gustav Max. It still happens like all the time, and the deck can still spam, still OTK, everything. So I mean that's not going to go away. I just feel like a bunch of other Dragon decks get the shaft because of it.